Good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you all. Walaikum Assalam, Kausar Samad, Aman Ahmed, Walaikum Assalam, Mir Fiza, Walaikum Assalam, Sumaira, Walaikum Assalam, Shahid Khan, Walaikum Assalam, Zahid War, Walaikum Assalam, Farhad Bhatt, Walaikum Assalam, Mahrish, Walaikum Assalam, Shaista Ali, Walaikum Assalam, Mehruz Saeed, Walaikum Assalam, Walaikum Assalam, Obesh Sherwani, Walaikum Assalam, Imran Bhatt, Walaikum Assalam, Arbaz Amin, Walaikum Assalam, Walaikum Assalam, Zuhaib Khan Ishfaq, Walaikum Assalam, Ishrat Ali, Walaikum Assalam, Rabia Jahan, Walaikum Assalam. I'm fine. आप कैसे हैं सब लोग? सब खैरियत से हैं? महरोज वालेकुम अस्सलाम. चलिए अच्छी बात है, सब ठीक है. वालेकुम अस्सलाम महराज. थोड़ा सा 10-15 सेकंड वेट कर लेते हैं, देन विल स्टार्ट अवर टॉपिक. खान सुहेब वालेकुम अस्सलाम. मोहम्मद यमीन वालेकुम अस्सलाम. We'll wait for 15 seconds more, then we'll start. वालेकुम अस्सलाम. महवी वालेकुम अस्सलाम. चलिए, meanwhile, let's recapitulate what we discussed yesterday. We started a new topic, The Diary of a Young Girl, written by Annie Frank. So in this diary, we first discussed what is diary writing. So diary writing is a sort of a writing wherein the writer, the diarist, he pours out his emotions, his feelings on a diary. So in a way, the diary becomes a friend of this writer. And in modern days, we see vlogging. That is the modern form of diary writing. It happens online. The vlogger has a community and he uploads videos and he interacts with his community. Now, the diary of a young girl is important in the sense that it's written by a 13-year-old girl child. So you have to imagine being a 13-year-old and writing this diary. And it became so popular that it was published in 30 countries. It was also adapted as a film. It was adapted um, as a TV series, and then a drama was made out of this diary. And that drama, it won the Pulitzer Prize. तो डायरी में हमें क्या देखने को मिलता है? डायरी में हम ये देखते हैं कि एक यंग गर्ल जो है, 13-year-old गर्ल, वो अपनी फीलिंग्स, अपनी इमोशंस जो है वो उस डायरी में लिखती है. तो उस डायरी के हर एक पेज पे एक एंट्री है, डिफरेंट एंट्री है, और डेट लिखा हुआ है उसके ऊपर. तो वो एंट्रीज हमें बताती है, एक तो उनकी पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में बताती है, एनी फ्रैंक की पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में. उसके बाद ये बताती है कि उस टाइम पे जो वॉर सिचुएशन थी, क्योंकि वर्ल्ड वॉर सेकेंड चल रहा था, एंड नाज़ीज, द पार्टी ऑफ हिटलर, दे वर अगेंस्ट ज्यूज, दे वांटेड देम टू बी किल्ड. उसी सिचुएशन में दे वर डिपोर्टेड टू कंसंट्रेशन कैंप्स एंड मिलियंस ऑफ ज्यूज वर किल्ड. वो सिचुएशन भी एनी फ्रैंक जो है वो इसमें बयान करती है कि हमारी सिचुएशन कैसी थी. एंड दे हैड टू फ्ली फ्रॉम जर्मनी एंड टेक रिफ्यूज इन नीदरलैंड्स. तो एक वेयर हाउस में एनी फ्रैंक और उनके पेरेंट्स जो है, दे हाइड देमसेल्व्स so that these Germans, these Nazis, they are not able to see them, they are not able to capture them. तो उस सेंस में फिर अल्टीमेटली क्या होता है कि ओनली द फादर सर्वाइव्स, जो कि फिर पब्लिश करवाते हैं एनी फ्रैंक की ये डायरी. बाकी सब जो है, दे आर इन वन वे और द अदर वे दे डाई. तो जब हमने पहली एंट्री देखी डायरी की, it is Saturday 20th June 1942. तो obviously वहाँ पे the world war is currently going on. और पहली एंट्री में हम ये देखते हैं कि एनी फ्रैंक शी टॉक्स अबाउट व्हाई देयर वाज अ नीड फॉर हर टू मेक दिस डायरी. So need was she wanted to she doesn't have friends as such. Friends, I mean to say, with which she has an emotional bond. She has friends, but she herself acknowledges that वो friends ऐसे हैं कि मैं उनके साथ कोई emotional bond जो है वो share नहीं करती हूँ. मेरी फैमिली भी अच्छी है, मेरी सिस्टर भी अच्छी है, बाकी सब अच्छे हैं, रिलेटिव्स भी अच्छे हैं, बट कहीं मेरा वो इमोशनल बॉन्ड जो है उनके साथ नहीं बनता है. दैट्स व्हाट एनी फ्रैंक सेज इन द फर्स्ट एंट्री ऑफ अ डायरी. देन शी टॉक्स अबाउट कि मैंने ये डायरी क्यों बनाई. तो वो कहती है कि इस डायरी को मैं एड्रेस करूंगी आज के बाद एज किटी. शी विल बी माई फ्रेंड एंड आई यू नो pour out all my feelings and I'll write this on the diary. Then moving on, she talks about her own life, कैसे how she was, she was born in 1933. और फिर उनके बाद वो कैसे एमिग्रेट हुए, उनके बाद कैसे सिचुएशन ख़राब हुई, ज्यूज़ को कैसे कैप्चर किया गया. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हमें बताई जाती है. उसके बाद ये भी बताया जाता है कि एनी फ्रैंक को कहाँ किस स्कूल में एडमिट किया गया था. और ये भी हम बायोग्राफी से पता लगा सकते हैं कि उस स्कूल का भी लास्ट में नाम जो है चेंज किया गया था इन ऑनर ऑफ एनी फ्रैंक, एंड दैट स्कूल वाज रीनेम्ड एज द एनी फ्रैंक स्कूल. तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि पहले जो इस एंट्री में लिखा गया है वो सिर्फ इसकी पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में लिखा गया है. तो आगे जो हम देखेंगे, एक तो पर्सनल लाइफ और ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्व हम होंगे और ये वॉर के बारे में बात करेगी. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट टुडेज टॉपिक. You take out page number 34. Now we have second entry in the diary, and the date is Saturday 7th November 1942. Now we know that she will address the diary as Kitty. So that's why you see Dear Kitty. Dear Kitty. Now in this entry you will see Annie Frank talking about her family. She talks about her father, she talks about her mother and her sister, and she talks about how she shares a unique sort of relationship with them. And she'll say that she adores her father. इनके लिए ये फादर जो इनका है एनी फ्रैंक का, वो उनको वर्शिप करती है एक किस्म से. और ये भी बताती है एनी फ्रैंक कि मेरा रिलेशन जो है मेरी मदर के साथ, मेरे फादर के साथ, वो ऐसा है कि वो कभी अंडरस्टैंड नहीं करते हैं कि मेरे अंदर की फीलिंग्स क्या है. मेरी सिस्टर जो है उनका ज़्यादा केयर होता है, मेरे माँ बाप जो है उनका ज़्यादा केयर करते हैं, जिनका नाम मार्गो है, जो इनकी बड़ी सिस्टर है, उनको ज़्यादा केयर देते हैं, उनको ज़्यादा अटेंशन देते हैं. वाइल एज एनी फ्रैंक जो है उनका अपने हिसाब से जितना केयर होना चाहिए, जितनी अफेक्शन होनी चाहिए, उतना नहीं मिलता है फ्रॉम हर पेरेंट्स. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हम देखेंगे. और एक किस्म से I'm surprised that a 13-year-old girl, she has such philosophical understanding, such keen observation of things, that I'm at wonderstruck कि ऐसा 13-year-old girl जो है ऐसी सारी चीज़ें कैसे लिख सकती है. So that shows us the genius of Annie Frank. Now let's start. Mummy is frightfully irritable, and that always seems to herald unpleasantness for me. So my mother, she is always irritable. Her behavior is quite irritable, and this becomes quite unpleasant for me. Herald is to announce. Is it just chance that daddy and mummy never rebuke Margot and that they always drop on me for everything? Now here there is a contrast that her elder sister, she is viewed as a good girl by her parents, while as Annie Frank, she is viewed as someone who is naughty, someone who is dull, and she is now never given attention she wants. Yesterday evening, for instance, Margot was reading a book. Now she will narrate an incident. Yesterday evening, for instance, Margot was reading a book with lovely drawings in it. She got up and went upstairs, put the book down, ready to go on with it later. I wasn't doing anything, so picked up the book and started looking at the pictures. Margot came back, saw her book in my hand, wrinkled her forehead, and asked for the book back. जस्ट बिकॉज आई वॉन्टेड टू लुक अ लिटिल फर्दर ऑन. तो एक इंसिडेंट होता है, मार्गो जो उसकी बड़ी बहन है वो एक बुक रीड कर रही होती है एंड सडनली एनी फ्रैंक भी उस बुक को पढ़ना स्टार्ट करती है एंड दिस मेक्स मार्गो क्वाइट एंग्री. Margot got more and more angry. Then Mummy joined in. Give the book to Margot. She was reading it, she said. Daddy came into the room. He didn't even know that it was all about, but saw the injured look on Margot's face and promptly dropped on me. I'd like to see what you would say if Margot ever started looking at one of your books. Now, इनके father, इनकी mother जो है, they enter into the room and they start rebuking Annie Frank. वो इसलिए रिब्यूक करते हैं कि आपने इसकी बुक जो है वो क्यों उठाई. तो यहाँ पे एक पहला इंस्टेंस जो है क्लियर हो जाता है कि मार्गो इज गिवन मोर अटेंशन देन एनी फ्रैंक. I'd like to see what you'd. Okay, I gave way at once, laid the book down, and left the room, offended as they thought. It so happened I was neither offended nor cross, but just miserable. So this had a deep impact on Annie Frank's heart. She didn't become angry, but she became sad. It wasn't right of Daddy to judge without knowing what the squabble means a minor fight, was about. I would have given Margot the book myself and much more quickly if Mummy and Daddy hadn't interfered. मैंने तो खुद देनी थी बुक वापस मार्गो को, बट डैडी और मम्मी ने इंटरफेयर किया. दे नेवर अंडरस्टैंड माई फीलिंग्स. तो उनको पता भी नहीं था ये फाइट जो है वो क्यों स्टार्ट हुई, एंड आउट ऑफ नो वेयर दे स्नैच द बुक फ्रॉम मी. सो दैट शोज अस दैट हर पेरेंट्स दे नेवर अंडरस्टैंड हर. They took Margot's part at once as though she were the victim of some great injustice. So they quickly took the side of Margot. It is obvious that Mummy would stick up for Margot. She and Margot always do back each other up. So they share a good relationship, Margot and her mother. And usually in dire situations, they usually back themselves. I am so used to that I am utterly indifferent to both Mummy's jawings and Margot's moods. Jawing is scalding, critical remarks. So Annie Frank जो है, she says that I am fed up with this thing. I am fed up with the scoldings of Mummy and I am fed up with the moods of Margot. I love them, but only because they are Mummy and Margot. She loves them, but not really. She loves them only because one is her mother and the other one is her sister. With Daddy, it's different. If he holds Margot up as an example, approves of what she does, praises and caresses her, caresses means affection, then something gnaws at me inside. Gnaw means to bite. But Daddy के साथ इनका relationship जो है वो completely different है. तो in a way, Daddy के साथ इनका जो relation है वो एक she adores Daddy, worship करती है. बाकी जो इन्होंने कहा मम्मी एंड हर सिस्टर, उनकी सिर्फ ये रिलेशन है कि वो इनकी सिर्फ मदर है और सिस्टर है. बट डैडी को एनी फ्रैंक जो है, शी वर्शिप्स डैडी. ही इज द वन आई लुक अप टू. आई डोंट लव एनीवन इन द वर्ल्ड बट हिम. So clearly she is pointing out that I love only Daddy and no one in the world. He doesn't notice that he treats Margot differently from me. Now Margot is just the prettiest, sweetest, most beautiful girl in the world. But with Daddy it's... But all the same, I feel I have some right to be taken seriously too. Now she categorically says that she has a right to be taken seriously. I have always been the dunce. Dunce means unintelligent, the never do well of the family. I have never been taken like I am giving benefit to the family. I have always had to pay double for my deeds, first with the scoldings and then again because of the way my feelings are hurt. I am hurt every time, and I am not considered as an intelligent girl by my parents. Now I am not satisfied with this apparent favoritism anymore. I want something from Daddy that he is not able to give me. I want an affection. I want some serious sort of affection from Daddy. But presently she is not getting any of that sort, either from the Daddy or from her mother. I am not jealous of Margot. Never have been. I don't envy her good looks or her beauty. It is only that I long for daddy's real love, not only as his child, but for me, Annie, myself. So you can underline this line. This can be important from the examination point of view. If a question is asked like this, uh, she Annie Frank longs for whose love? So your answer will be daddy. She loves only daddy and she longs for daddy's love. I cling to daddy because it is only through him that I am able to retain the remnant of family feelings. Otherwise, she doesn't hold any feelings for her family. It's only because of daddy that she remains silent, is patient. Daddy doesn't understand that I need to give vent to my feelings over mummy sometimes. Daddy को ये भी understand करना है कि मेरे अंदर feelings है और मैं उनको कभी बाहर भी निकालना चाहती हूँ. He doesn't want to talk about it. He simply avoids anything which might lead to remarks about mummy's feelings. Just the same. Mummy and her feelings are something I find harder to bear than anything else. तो मम्मी का जो attitude है, it's very hard for me to bear that out. Mummy and her feelings are something I find harder to bear than anything else. I don't know how to keep it all to myself. I can't always be drawing attention to her untidiness, her sarcasm, and her lack of sweetness. Neither can I believe that I am always in the wrong. For Mummy, I am always at the wrong side. And her sarcasm, her critical remarks, and her lack of sweetness, वो मुझसे अब ज़्यादा bear नहीं होता है. I want motherly affection from my mother. We are exact opposites in everything. So naturally, we are bound to run up against each other. So mummy and I, we are quite opposite to each other when it comes to our thinking. I don't pronounce judgment on mummy's character, for that is something I can't judge. I only look at her as a mother and she just doesn't succeed in being that to me. तो एक मदर का जो रोल होना चाहिए वो एनी फ्रैंक की मदर जो है वो प्ले नहीं कर रही है. I have to be my own mother. So in that sense, Annie Frank says that I have to be my own mother because I don't get the affection, the sort of affection that a mother should give to her child. I have drawn myself apart from them all. So in a way, I am secluded in my family. तो मेरी फैमिली में मैंने अपने आप को अलग किया है बाकियों से. इमोशनली मैंने अलग किया. फिजिकली तो मैं फैमिली में हूँ, बट इमोशनली आई हैव drawn the line. I have kept myself aloof from other family members. I am my own skipper. Skipper means captain, a coach or a director. तो in a way मैं अपनी life को खुद ही चला रही हूँ. And later on I shall see where I come to land. All this comes about particularly because I have in my mind's eye an image of what a perfect mother and wife should be. मैं इसीलिए ये सब कुछ कह रही हूँ because in my mind I know how a perfect should behave, how a perfect wife should behave, how a perfect sister should behave. तभी जाकर I'm complaining this, I'm writing this. And in whom I must call mother, I find no trace of that image. You can underline this also. So if a question is asked, what sort of a relationship does Annie Frank share with her mother? So you'll say that she says that she was mother only by name, but when it comes to affection, when it comes to care, when it comes to love, she is not her mother, क्योंकि वो वैसा behave नहीं करती है. And in her, whom I must call mother, I find no trace of that. She doesn't find any sort of characteristics which a mother should have in her own mother. I'm always making resolutions not to notice mummy's bad example. I want to see only the good side of her and to seek in myself what I cannot find in her. तो अब इस सेंस में because she is my mother, मैं चाहती हूँ कि मैं उसका सिर्फ पॉजिटिव साइड देखूँ और बाकी जो नेगेटिव साइड वगैरह है वो मैं चाहती हूँ अपने ही अंदर डेवलप करूँ कि जो मैं चाहती हूँ कि मुझे मिल जाए, affection, love, care. But it doesn't work. And the worst of it is that neither daddy nor mummy understands this gap in my life. So at this moment, we can feel a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old girl, she wants someone to understand her. वो चाहती है कि कोई मेरी फीलिंग तो अंडरस्टैंड करे, मगर उसके पेरेंट्स वैसे नहीं है, ना ही उसके फादर वैसे हैं, ना ही उसकी मदर वैसी है. And the worst of it is that neither daddy nor mummy understands this gap in my life, and I blame them for it, and I truly blame them for it, because a mother and a father, they should really understand what is going in the life of their child. I wonder if anyone can ever succeed in making their children absolutely correct. but at the same time, she feels that it's hardly impossible. It's very impossible, in fact, for parents to completely satisfy their child. I wonder if anyone can ever succeed in making their children absolutely content. Sometimes I believe that God wants to try me both now and later on. Sometimes I feel कि God ही जो है मेरे साथ ऐसा कर रहे हैं. I must become good through my own efforts without examples and without good advice. शायद God जो है वो चाहते हैं मैं खुद ही अपनी बलबूते पे जो है I become good without the advice of anyone else. Then later on I shall be all the stronger. Who besides me will ever read these letters? From whom but myself shall I get comfort, as I need comforting often. तो शायद गॉड ऐसे ही कर रहे कि मैं खुद स्ट्रांग बनूं और जब मुझे नीड हो तो मैं अपने आप को खुद ही कंसोल करूं, अपने आप को मैं खुद ही कंफर्ट दूं. As I need comforting often, I frequently feel weak and dissatisfied with myself. My shortcomings are too great. मेरी shortcomings जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है और शायद गॉड इसीलिए कह रहा है कि ये खुद ही स्ट्रांग बने और उन shortcomings को, उन failures को ये खुद ही दूर करे. I know this, and every day I try to improve myself again and again. I know this, and that's why I am improving myself. My treatment varies so much. One day Annie is so sensible and is allowed to know everything, and the next day I hear that Annie is just a silly little goat who doesn't know anything at all and imagines that she has learned a wonderful lot from books. So her life is a sort of an imbalance. One day she's sensible, she's considered as sensible, and the other day she is considered as unintelligent. I'm not a baby or a I'm not a baby or a spoiled darling anymore to be laughed at whatever she does. I have my own views. Here, this is very important. You can underline this. I have my own views, plans, ideas. मेरी भी अपनी आइडेंटिटी है, मेरी भी अपनी इंडिविजुअलिटी है. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं अभी भी एक बच्ची हूँ. 13-14 साल की बच्ची को सब बच्चा ही कंसिडर करते हैं और शायद ये भी कंसिडर करते हैं कि इसकी आइडेंटिटी नहीं है. बट यहाँ पे एनी फ्रैंक जो है शी क्लियरली सेज दैट आई हैव माई ओन व्यूज, आई हैव माई ओन प्लान्स, आइडियाज, आई हैव माई ओन इंडिविजुअलिटी. Though I can't put them into words yet, oh, so many things bubble up inside me as I lie in bed, having to put up with people I am fed up with, who always misinterpret my intentions. So I am fed up with people around me because no one understands me. तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो आप कमेंट बॉक्स में लिख रहे हैं, कंप्लेंट्स वगैरह अगर कुछ है तो वी कैन डिस्कस देम लेटर ऑन. क्लास इज गोइंग ऑन, कंसंट्रेट ऑन द क्लास. सो एवरीवन इज मिसइंटरप्रेटिंग मी. कोई मुझे अंडरस्टैंड नहीं कर रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई इन द एंड आई ऑलवेज कम बैक टू माई डायरी. इसीलिए जब कोई अंडरस्टैंड ना करे, जब कोई रियल फ्रेंड है ही नहीं जिसके साथ एक इमोशनल बॉन्डिंग है, सो दैट्स व्हाई आई कम बैक अगेन टू माई डायरी, बिकॉज दिस डायरी इज द थिंग दैट अंडरस्टैंड्स मी. यही जो एक कंपेनियन है मेरे साथ, जिसके साथ मैं अपनी फीलिंग्स जो है वो शेयर कर सकती हूँ. That's why in the end I always come back to my diary. That is where I start and finish. Because Kitty is always patient. She is patient. और ये भी प्रॉब्लम है आजकल के ज़माने में. People don't listen. एम्पैथी को तो दूर की बात है, लोग तो किसी की फीलिंग्स पहले समझते नहीं हैं. वैसी ही सिचुएशन एनी फ्रैंक के साथ होती है. इसीलिए वो कहती है कि किटी जो है मेरी डायरी, शी इज़ मोर पेशेंट. I'll promise her that I shall preserve in spite of everything and find my own way through it all and swallow my tears. I only wish I could see the results already or occasionally receive encouragement from someone who loves me. मगर सिर्फ इतना मैं चाहती हूँ कभी तो मुझे कोई encouragement दे, कभी तो मेरी जो है एक्टिविटीज़ को कोई appreciate करे, मगर वैसा होता नहीं है. Don't condemn me. Remember rather that sometimes I too can reach the bursting point. बहुत ही इमोशनल लाइन है यहाँ पे. तो कहना ये चाहती है एनी फ्रैंक कि मुझे जज मत कीजिए, मगर कभी मैं भी उस पॉइंट तक चली जाती हूँ जहाँ मेरा इमोशनल आउटबर्स्ट जो है वो होता है, वेयर आई कैनॉट कंट्रोल माई फीलिंग्स, एंड एट दैट टाइम एन इमोशनल आउटबर्स्ट हैपन्स. So now we have next entry. So in the last entry what we came to know is, we came to know about the relationship that Annie Frank shares with her parents. She adores her father, while as her mother, she doesn't consider her, you know, that she is a true image of a mother, क्योंकि वैसा affection, वैसा care उनको अपनी माँ से नहीं मिलता है. तो regarding her sister, she is an elder sister of hers, तो उनको ज़्यादा attention, ज़्यादा care मिलता है as compared to Annie Frank. And usually what happens in their family is that her father and her mother, they judge her and they consider her unintelligent, they consider her lacking in beauty, while as they give more affection to her elder sister Margot. And then she says कि इसीलिए because no one understands me, no one is a real companion to me, that's why I put forth my feelings into my diary. तो किटी जो है उनकी डायरी वो हमेशा से she says that she will preserve it, और हमेशा से मैं अपनी feelings जो है इन्हीं के साथ share. लाइन जो है वो बताती है कि मैं भी एक टाइम पे मैं चाहती हूँ कि मुझे भी अप्रिसिएशन मिले, मगर वैसा नहीं होता है. और एक टाइम ऐसा भी आता है मेरी लाइफ में जहाँ मेरा एक इमोशनल आउटबर्स्ट हो जाता है, वेयर आई कैन नॉट कंट्रोल माई इमोशंस. So now let's move on to another entry. This is Wednesday, 13th January 1943. Now again, in this entry you will see that she'll talk about the situation that is going on, the war that is going on, and the miserable life that Jews are living. Dear Kitty, everything has upset me again this morning, so I wasn't able to finish a single thing properly. It is terrible outside. It is terrible outside. Day and night, more of those poor, miserable people are being dragged off with nothing but a rucksack. Miserable people here are Jews, and they have only their backpacks carried, and a little money. On the way, they are deprived even of these possessions. Families are torn apart, the men, women, and children all being separated because World War II is going on, and Hitler's party, they are after Jews, they want them to be killed. Children coming home from school find that their parents have disappeared. Women return from shopping to find their homes shut up and their families gone. So there is a miserable situation going on. A tragic situation is going on. तो families जो है they are torn apart, और उनके loved ones जो है either they are killed or they disappear. तो ऐसी situation में एनी फ्रैंक जो है ये एंट्री लिख रही है. The Dutch people are anxious too. हालांकि डच जो है नीदरलैंड के लोग उनको कोई खतरा नहीं है, but they too are anxious. Their sons are being sent to Germany. Everyone is afraid. So this is a paranoia sort of a situation. And every night hundreds of planes fly over Holland and go to German towns where the earth is plowed up by their bombs. And every hour hundreds and thousands of people are killed in Russia and Africa. No one is able to keep out of it. The whole globe is waging war, and although it's going better for the Allies, the end is not yet in sight. So everywhere there is this atmosphere of tragedy. The bombing is going on, the planes are flying in the sky, and the whole world is waging war against itself. अब यहाँ पे आप देखिए allies क्या है. जो World War II है, it was fought between Axis powers and allies. जो Axis powers हैं उनमें 3 countries थी, जर्मनी, इटली एंड जापान. वायरस एलाइज जो थे उनमें ग्रेट ब्रिटेन था, फ्रांस था, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स, द सोवियत यूनियन एंड चाइना टू अ लेसर एक्सटेंट. तो दिस वर्ल्ड वॉर सेकेंड इट वॉज फाउट बिटवीन द एक्सिस पावर्स and the allies. Annie Frank here is saying that allies had a better grip on the axis right now. And as for us, we are fortunate. Yes, we are luckier than millions of people. It is quiet and safe here, and we are, so to speak, living on capital. We are even so selfish as to talk about after the war, brighten up at the thought of having new clothes and new shoes. अब बाकी millions of people से तो हम बेहतर है, क्योंकि हम एक इस वक्त जो है we are in the place of hiding. हम छुपे हुए हैं, और बाकी लोगों से जो मर रहे हैं उनसे हम काफ़ी बेहतर है. And still in our thoughts we are thinking about when the war will finish, we'll buy new clothes and we'll buy new shoes. But there are people outside who are being killed, और उनको ये सारी सोचने की अभी तक जो है वो गुंजाइश ही नहीं है. Whereas we really ought to save every penny to help other people and save what is left from the wreckage after the war. Wreckage is the debris of something which is damaged. तो एनी फ्रैंक का ये कहना है कि इस वक्त जो है वी शुड रियली थिंक अबाउट द पीपल we should help those people who do not have money. We should help those people who are injured. तो मगर इस वक्त हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि हम नए क्लोथ्स कैसे ले, नए शूज कैसे ले. सो बीइंग ह्यूमंस वी शुड रियली केयर अबाउट अदर ह्यूमन बीइंग्स. The children here run about in just a thin blouse and clogs. Clogs are shoes. यहाँ पे जो छोटे बच्चे हैं वो भी ऐसे ही घूम रहे होते हैं. No coat, no hat, no stockings and no one helps them. तो बच्चे भी उनको ठीक ठाक कपड़े नहीं पहने हुए होते हैं, तो वो भी ऐसे ही चल रहे हैं क्योंकि देयर इज अ वॉर गोइंग ऑन. वॉर जो है चल रहा है और इस सेंस में जो है पीपल हैव बिकम पुअर एंड दे डू नॉट हैव क्लोथ्स टू पुट ऑन देयर बॉडीज. Their tummies are empty. They chew an old carrot to stay the pangs. They chew their old carrots so that they prevent themselves from getting hungrier. Go from their cold homes out into the cold street and when they get to school find themselves in an even colder classroom. Yes, it has even got so bad in Holland that countless children stop the passerbys and beg for a piece of bread. इतनी poverty है कि लोग जो है रास्ते पे चलते हुए लोगों से ब्रेड मांग रहे हैं. इतनी जो है पॉवर्टी जो है प्रेजेंट है वहां पे इस वॉर लाइक सिचुएशन में. I could go on for hours about all the suffering the war has brought, but then I would only make myself more dejected. Dejected means sad. There is nothing we can do but wait as calmly as we can till the misery comes to an end. तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते इस वक्त. We can just wait for the war to end. Jews and Christians wait, the whole earth waits, and there are many who wait for death. आदू की सिचुएशन इतनी खराब है वो चाहते हैं कि हमें अब मौत ही आनी चाहिए. तो दूसरी एंट्री में हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ फोकस जो है इट इज ऑन द वॉर. द वॉर इज फाउट बिटवीन द एक्सेस पावर्स एंड द एलाइज. तो एनी फ्रैंक कह रही है कि दिन रात जो है प्लेन्स जो है वो ऊपर आसमान में चल रहे होते हैं एंड देयर इज बॉम्बिंग गोइंग ऑन. All the world is at war with itself. तो जो बच्चे हैं जो बूढ़े हैं उनकी सिचुएशन भी खराब है और हर एक जो है हर एक को पॉवर्टी ने घेर रखा है. इवन सिचुएशन इतनी खराब है कि जो ये छोटे बच्चे हैं वो बेग करते हैं फॉर अ पीस ऑफ ब्रेड. तो वैसी सिचुएशन खराब हो गई है बिकॉज ऑफ वॉर. और ज्यूज की भी सिचुएशन ऑलरेडी खराब थी मगर डच जो है वो भी एंक्शियस फील करते हैं, वो भी फेयरफुल फील करते हैं. सो एक एटमॉस्फेयर है फियर का. तो कुछ लोग जो है द ज्यूज दे आर वेटिंग दैट सिचुएशन विल इम्प्रूव. क्रिश्चियंस आर वेटिंग एंड सम पीपल हु आर इंजर्ड बैडली और देयर सिचुएशन इज मिजरेबल they are just waiting for their death. So today we discussed two entries in the diary of Annie Frank. One 42 and the other one on 13th January 1943. One talks about the personal life of Annie Frank, the relationship she shares with her family, with her parents, and the second one it clearly talks about what is the original language of the diaries. Original language Dutch है, German भी है, थोड़ा English भी लिखा गया है. So ज़्यादातर Dutch में लिखा गया है और German में लिखा गया है. कहीं कहीं पे इंग्लिश का भी जिक्र है बट देन इट वाज जो है ट्रांसलेट किया गया था इसको इन इंग्लिश. बेसिकली जो लैंग्वेज है वो डच है पहली. तो सेकेंड एंट्री में हम क्लियरली देखते हैं कि द फोकस इज ऑन द वॉर, द फोकस इज ऑन द सिचुएशन ऑफ ज्यूज. सो आई थिंक इट्स क्लियर. सो टुमारो विल टेक अप द रेस्ट ऑफ द यूनिट एंड probably we are going to finish it tomorrow. So I think I should take your leave. We'll meet inshallah tomorrow. Thank you. Goodbye.